Good evening, and welcome to Primetime Pulse, your source. To hear Donald Trump tell it, the fact that he keeps getting indicted by prosecutors is a boon to his re-election effort. Anytime they file an indictment, we go way up in the polls, he said at a dinner shortly after he was charged by the Justice Department with attempting to overturn the 2020 election. This counterintuitive claim is questionable on its face, if not demonstrably false upon close examination, but it is one among many dubious arguments that Trump and his allies have advanced in recent months, as he has been confronted with 4 different prosecutions brought by the Justice Department, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, and, most recently, the Fulton County District Attorney's Office in Georgia. Ankush Kardori, an attorney and former federal prosecutor in the U.S. Justice Department, is a Politico magazine contributing writer. To hear Donald Trump tell it, the fact that he keeps getting indicted by prosecutors is a boon to his re-election effort. Anytime they file an indictment, we go way up in the polls, he said at a dinner shortly after he was charged by the Justice Department with attempting to overturn the 2020 election. This counterintuitive claim is questionable on its face, if not demonstrably false upon close examination, but it is one among many dubious arguments that Trump and his allies have advanced in recent months, as he has been confronted with 4 different prosecutions brought by the Justice Department, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, and, most recently, the Fulton County District Attorney's Office in Georgia. A new Politico magazine/Ipsos poll provides some bad news for Trump. Even as he remains the clear frontrunner for the Republican nomination, the cascading indictments are likely to take a toll on his general election prospects. The survey results suggest Americans are taking the cases seriously, particularly the Justice Department's 2020 election case, and that most people are skeptical of Trump's claim to be the victim of a legally baseless witch hunt or an elaborate, multi-jurisdictional effort to weaponize law enforcement authorities against him. Furthermore, public sentiment in certain areas, including how quickly to hold a trial and whether to incarcerate Trump if he's convicted, is moving against the former president when compared to a previous Politico magazine/Ipsos poll conducted in June. This latest poll was conducted from August 18 to August 21, roughly 2.5 weeks after Trump's second federal indictment and several days after Trump was criminally charged in Fulton County. The poll had a sample of 1,032 adults, age 18 or older, who were interviewed online. It has a margin of error of plus or minus 3.2 percentage points for all respondents. Here are some of the most notable findings from our latest survey. Most Americans believe Trump should stand trial before the 2024 election. On Monday, Trump's lawyers will face off against federal prosecutors before U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan over when to schedule his trial in the Justice Department's 2020 election case, a high-stakes dispute that could have dramatic implications for the 2024 election. Federal prosecutors have proposed that the trial begin on January 2, 2024, while Trump's lawyers have countered that the trial should take place in April 2026. If Trump gets his way, that would, perhaps not coincidentally, leave him plenty of time to complete his re-election bid and, if successful, shut the case down after retaking the White House. Americans are far closer to the Justice Department's position than to Trump's. 59% of respondents in the poll said that the federal trial in Trump's 2020 election subversion case should take place before the 2024 Republican primaries begin early next year. A slightly higher number, 61% of all respondents, said that the trial should take place before the general election next November. There was a predictable partisan split among Democrats and Republicans, with nearly 90% of Democratic respondents seeking an early trial date and roughly a third of Republican respondents agreeing. It was the reaction of independents, however, that may prove most ominous for Trump. Nearly two-thirds, 63%, of independents said that Trump should stand trial before next November, a figure that suggests particular interest in and attentiveness to a case that effectively alleges that Trump tried to steal the last election. By way of a rough comparison, when we asked a similar question in June following Trump's indictment by the Justice Department in Florida concerning his retention of classified documents, fewer than half of independent respondents, 48%, said that the trial, in that case, should take place before next November. About half of the country believes Trump is guilty in the pending prosecutions.